This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
The After Party live on a Hide in Your Cave Monday, and I got an email about a cave in the California area. Yvonne sent me an email. So we're going to the secret cave it's called the Secret Los Angeles Cave, although it's kind of not near Los Angeles. We'll talk about it. But it is Hide in Your Cave Monday, and we really need to hide today. Maybe just poke our head in there for a while and ease up on life and all the weird things that are happening. Thank you for being here. I could see you in the chat talking. There's baby ribbonfish. Yeah, wait till you see this ribbonfish. I'll get to that in just a moment. Ms. Organic says it's a gorgeous day on the coast. Lots of tourist traffic today. Love the coast. So gotta appreciate living in California, you know? Nullifidian trying to figure out what that's a picture of, but I can't make it out. Okay. And I love you for loving the show, Jan. Thank you so much. Let's jump into it then, since you're talking about the ribbonfish. This is quite a surprise because this fish, it's called King of Salmon. It's not a salmon. It's a member of the ribbonfish species. This fish, King of Salmon, lives in the deep, deep, deep sea. But look at that. It's right at the surface. This is really rare. Rare to even see one, let alone to have it be seen at the surface. But they saw it right off the coast of Monterey Bay. Of Monterey, in Monterey Bay. Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Who sent me this story? Someone sent me the ribbonfish story. I like to give credit where credit is due. And I would not have had this story if it weren't for gosh, who sent me this story? It's gonna drive me insane. Oh man. Well, I'll have to give you credit tomorrow. I'll go back and look through my emails, and my apologies for not writing down the name of the person who sent me the story. Such a good story, too. This California diver spotted this king of the salmon ribbonfish right near the surface, even though it usually lives hundreds of feet down in the deep, deep waters. The scientists with MBARI, the Monterey Bay Area Research Institute, say this is extraordinary because there have only been 16 sightings of this fish in nearly 40 years of exploring the coast off of California's coast. Or exploring off of California's coast, I should say. Why? Why was it seen? Though there are different theories as to what it was doing near the surface. Some say, well, it probably feeds near the surface and usually comes out at times when you wouldn't normally see it, and it just happened that it was an interesting timing moment. Others say warming ocean temperatures could be expanding the range of this fish, pushing warm water species into traditionally cooler waters like Monterey Bay. But this beautiful fish is so cool looking. The diver that saw it, his name is Kevin, didn't know what it was. So he took a picture of it and he posted it on this Facebook group called Monterey County Dive Reports. And everyone was looking at it. And the Monterey Bay aquarium biologist was among those people looking in saying, yeah, I'm going to take this image and share it with an ichthyologist. And they identify it as a juvenile king of the salmon, part of the ribbonfish family. A diver said, I wanted to stay with it, but I felt like I was harassing it. So it had this keen ability to orient itself so that its narrowest profile was always facing me, he said. The king of the salmon name comes from the Makah and indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest. They believed that this particular species led salmon back to their spawning grounds. That's why it's called King of the Salmon. But researchers at MBARI say this is a really, really rare occurrence because this type of fish is usually found at depths hundreds of feet lower. They live in a place that's really inaccessible to people, except if you have a submersible like Mbari does. In nearly 4 decades of ocean exploration, Mbari has logged 16 sightings of king of the salmon, 6 sightings of closely related ribbonfish, the most recent in 2021. But they said in terms of beauty, it's really hard to beat the king of the salmon. And part of its allure comes from its enormous lacy red fins and its silver sides. I have different pictures of it. I love this one. It kind of shows you. There's one a little further away. And here's kind of a close up of his back of his head and his beautiful, I don't know if they're fins or what they are coming off gills, fins. I don't know what those are. His accoutrement. Super cool. So this is what they were saying. One of the reasons for the rare sighting could be the fish's feeding time, because at nighttime there are various ocean animals that migrate to the surface to avoid predators. And so the researchers are thinking that maybe this fish might have stayed there after feeding on small crustaceans and larval fish. Then they say climate change is another region. Warm water holds less oxygen than cold water does. And as the ocean gets warmer, it can drive animals toward another region. And so that might be one reason why cold water creatures like crustaceans and squid and other species are moving into what used to be considered cooler waters. So they haven't nailed down exactly why the sighting of this king of the salmon fish happened. But boy, what a lucky moment. How cool is that looking thing? How cool looking is that thing? Clearly, I forgot how to speak English today. Not quite as cool, almost disturbing. Horses being ridden through fire, leaping through flames. This is part of a ritual to honor Saint Anthony, and it happens in Spain. These horses galloping through towering flames. This happens right before everyone goes to church and takes their dogs and cats and pets to be blessed with holy water. It happens every year in January to honor Saint Anthony, the abbot, the patron saint of domestic animals. A lot of criticism from animal rights groups, but the spectacle of these horses leaping through flames brings crowds out every year. It's this tradition that's been going on for centuries in the Spanish village of San Bartolomé de Pinares. Small little village, about 500 people live there, 60 miles outside Madrid. The horse riders guide the horses through bonfires in the middle of the street, which is supposed to purify the animals in the coming year. And they say in the olden days it was held because it was believed that the branches and the smoke blessed the horses and the donkeys. These animals used for farming as a form of healing to prevent them from getting sick and to ensure they could keep on working in the fields. The festivities were held on Friday. They put stacks of tree branches on the side of the street, and people come out and they buy wine and beer and treats. It's like a big festival. And then later in the evening, the stacks are lit aflame, and then they're the fire that the animal has to either jump through or jump around. It's called Las Luminarias. The animal rights groups criticize it. Locals say the horses are rarely, if ever, injured in doing all of this. And then the next morning on Saturday, I believe, the people then bring their domesticated animals into the church to bless them with holy water, to protect them and keep them healthy through the new year. I mean, in one way, it's nice to see people loving animals and wanting them to be healthy, but the riding of horses through fire, I mean, that must be scary for those horses, I would think. One of the things they do is they wrap the horses' tails in fire-resistant tape and they braid their manes. Some of them apply a glaze to the animal's mane to prevent it from burning as it leaps through the flames. So, yeah, I don't know. The pictures are crazy. I mean, it's what they do. Here's a better picture now, a cuter picture at least. Sadly, these little penguins are trapped by a humongous iceberg. Apparently, it sealed up the colony's entrance, the penguin colony's entrance, and led to their demise. This happened with emperor penguin chicks in Antarctica. This massive iceberg blocked thousands of parents from reaching their little young penguin chicks. And sadly, the event claimed the lives of about 14,000 penguin chicks in the Ross Sea at the Coleman Island colony, which is the largest breeding ground in that region. Researchers say the survival rates of this penguin colony dropped by 70%. They put satellites over it, saw the analysis between the satellites and the drone surveys that the population of new chicks fell from about 21,000 last year to 6,700 this season. That's a huge die off. And it happened because of an iceberg that was 14 kilometers. The ice obstructed a critical gateway connecting the breeding ground to the open ocean. The iceberg calved from the Nansen ice shelf in March of 2025, and then it drifted northward before grounding against Coleman Island and blocked the pathway, cutting off the penguins' migration route. So, sadly, it happened at a critical phase in this penguin breeding cycle because normally the females depart to forage at sea. They lay their eggs in June, and it's the male penguins that incubate the clutch of eggs, right? They stand there and keep them warm and do what they do. The survival of the hatchlings, though, relies on the moms returning 70 to 80 days later to deliver their first meal. But the moms couldn't get home. They were intercepted by an ice mass about the size of 5,000 soccer fields, and the ice formed a deceptive trap. While its seaward face offered a gentle slope that allowed the penguins to ascend with ease, the side facing the inland colony dropped off into a sheer vertical cliff. So when they got to the crest, they found themselves stranded and they couldn't get to the breeding ground below. The iceberg's seaward approach has this gentle gradient, making it accessible, but the edge facing the breeding ground formed a precipitous cliff, and the mothers following their usual route over the sea ice were confronted by an insurmountable barrier. So sad. They had hundreds of adult penguins massed at the base of the ice cliff, pacing back and forth nervously. The surrounding ice heavily scarred with guano, evidence that birds had been stranded there for a prolonged period as well. So this was catastrophic in this area because the dad penguins had already fasted for more than 70 days to incubate their young. So they're already being pushed to their physical breaking point. And the dads have to survive in order to be future breeders, right? To ensure the longevity of the species. Highly likely that they were eventually compelled to abandon the chicks and retreat to the ocean, unable to endure starvation any longer. The researchers are estimating the surviving 30% of chicks were fed by mothers who managed to find alternative routes around the blockage. If the iceberg clears before the next breeding season, there is potential for recovery here. But if that blockage persists, we may see long-term impacts, including a forced relocation for this entire colony. So what a bummer. The Ross Sea serves as a vital sanctuary for emperor penguins. So that's a huge hit. Poor little penguins. I think we need a happier story. Wait, this is supposed to be a feel-good show. What happened? How about this? Toyota is working on hydrogen-powered trucks in the Arizona desert. They're bringing hydrogen fuel cell vehicles to America. When we've been focusing on electric vehicles, EVs, in other parts of the world, hydrogen fuel cell is huge. Not so much here because there are no hydrogen fuel cell stations that we could use to fuel up with. We don't have the infrastructure for it. But in December, Toyota announced its intention to amp up US hydrogen infrastructure by investing in something called First Element Fuel. It's the largest retail hydrogen fueling infrastructure provider in California. And they have spent the last 30 years researching and developing hydrogen fuel cells. Toyota even has a campus in Gardena, California, that they work on only hydrogen research at that area. It was named or renamed the Toyota North American Hydrogen Headquarters last year. They debuted the hydrogen-powered Mirai sedan in 2015. It's only available in California because it's the only place in the country where hydrogen pumps are available for passenger cars. And they've got these proving grounds in Arizona where they're testing heavy-duty Class 8 hydrogen fuel cell trucks like the one you see on the screen. They're racing them against diesel trucks to see which ones perform better. The hydrogen truck is cleaner, quicker, and it spits water out of its tailpipe instead of noxious fumes. The problem is getting the rest of the country to adopt it. But that's something that's coming. It's here in California. You see, even though it's here, it's hard to get Californians to change. It's hard enough to get people to go electric vehicle, let alone hydrogen fuel cell. So I don't know. We'll see if it, if it takes off. It's a clean energy that can be produced using solar power, wind, and bio waste. There's a tri-gen system that Toyota and Fuel Energy launched in 2023. It uses a biogas from nearby wastewater treatment facilities to produce renewable electricity, renewable hydrogen, and usable water. The products are used for port vehicle processing operations at Toyota Logistics Services in Long Beach. So it's already here in some capacity in California. Toyota's seeing this as a game changer for the world. Who's on board? I'm going to the chat. Are you in for hydrogen fuel cell? If there was a way in your community, or at least up and down the state, to get services where you could refuel your hydrogen fuel cell, would you be in? Thank you, Wes, reminding me that I'm a horrible YouTuber and I forgot to ask you to click like and subscribe. Thank you, Wes. Please hit the like. Thank you. It helps. For whatever reason, it helps. Zero sum. I only drive Toyota's reliability. I hope they side against the current rulers. Jan says, of course. Biogas is free. Only 2 places to fill in the state, says Phineas. Yeah, they're still working on that infrastructure, aren't they? Oil companies won't like it, says Nolafidian, so this won't happen. I don't know. If it's going to happen anywhere, wouldn't it happen in California? Tammy says, I saw hydrogen vehicles on the internet 20 years ago, used water and pulled the H out of the H2O. Phineas looking at solid state battery EVs. I've got some dirty jokes. We need it. Yeah. Oh, wait, someone's trying to say something to me. Oh, yeah, there's not fueling. Yeah, I know there's not fueling stations yet. There are a few. There's one on the peninsula, I think, but it's to the point where if you had a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, I interviewed someone on KGO once that had one, and the issue was having to really plot out and plan out, when you were going to run out of fuel and where you could fuel up, because they are few and far between at this time. They are in some locations. They're just not plentiful, and so it's a problem. Solid states would recharge quickly, according to Gordon. Once there are enough fueling stations, I'd consider one, says John Watson. Excellent. It would be cool, says Zero Sum, if hydrogen cars worked off dirty shower and toilet water vapors. Well, I think that's the indication with what Toyota's doing in at least in that one case. So Phineas says Sacramento and LA are currently the only locations for fuel cell refueling. I thought there was one on the peninsula as well. I don't know. There might be more now. Not plentiful, but more than 2. So, yeah. All right, we move on. But I want to keep my eye on what Toyota's doing. The big concert to open the 60th Super Bowl, Green Day going to perform. And one of the things that they will do during this performance is celebrate generations of MVPs. It's cool because it's a hometown opening act. They're from Berkeley, so it's nice to keep it local, right? They're going to be at Levi's Stadium on February 8th, and their performance will celebrate 6 decades of the championship's history, because during their show, they're going to bring all the Super Bowl MVPs onto the field as part of this tribute. They said, we're super hyped to open for Super Bowl 60 right in our own backyard. We're honored to welcome the MVPs who have shaped the game and open the night for fans all over the world. He said, Billy Joe Armstrong, let's have fun, let's get loud. They're going to air it live on Peacock and Telemundo and NBC and Universo. So you'll be able to see this. I believe you'll be able to see this show. That's pretty cool. The opening ceremony to take place ahead of the pregame entertainment, in which Charlie Puth is to perform the national anthem, Brandi Carlile will sing America the Beautiful, and Coco Jones will deliver Lift Every Voice and Sing. Are you more apt to watch the Super Bowl since it's in the Bay Area? I know a lot of us, we're here on YouTube, we're spread around, but a lot of people probably in the chat are from the Bay Area, knowing us from KGO Radio, so that is Bay Area. I hope they sing American Idiot, says Peter. Great band, great choice, says Jim. I haven't seen a Super Bowl in 20 years, says Tammy. Are you more likely to click by and stop, since it's here in the Bay Area? Yeah, I don't know. I like to text Nikki during the Super Bowl, because I know I text her during the commercials. What the Sizzle says, yeah, I haven't seen one since XXX. 30 years? All right. Well, it's cool that Green Day is doing it. Guess what? We might not see it in California. This is a picture of the Aurora Borealis over the Golden Gate Bridge. We saw that, last year? That's super cool. I didn't see it personally, but a lot of you saw it in your backyards. We've got another solar radiation storm. It is the biggest in more than 20 years headed to Earth, and the Aurora Borealis is possible in Northern California. They don't say for sure deal. They said possible. There is a severe geomagnetic storm. The storm watch issued for Monday and Tuesday, so today and tomorrow. It is the largest solar radiation storm in more than 20 years, according to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So severe is their second strongest level that they have. And, of course, can affect the power grids on the Earth, the satellite, aircraft, space missions, all kinds of things can be affected. It is expected to peak overnight. The solar radiation storm reaching Earth Monday morning, but is going to peak during this overnight. Detrimental impacts to some of our critical infrastructure technology are possible, but mitigation is also possible, according to NOAA. And auroras may become visible over much of the northern half of the country, maybe as far south as Alabama to Northern California. In Northern California, not currently forecast to see an aurora with the naked eye, but sometimes they're seen further south than expected. We had one in November when the forecast was that it wouldn't go past Central Oregon, but people in Marin County saw it near San Francisco. So you never know. You never know. Peek outside tonight, see if you can see anything, and use your cell phone, right? Because they say sometimes your cell phone can pick up colors that the naked eye can't. This incoming geomagnetic storm is the result of a coronal mass ejection, which happened on Sunday. The coronal mass ejections are large expulsions of plasma and magnetic field from the sun's corona. This is according to NOAA. They can eject billions of tons of coronal material and carry an embedded magnetic field stronger than the background solar wind and interplanetary magnetic field strength. The fastest coronal mass ejections can reach Earth in 15 to 18 hours. The slower ones can take several days. So this geomagnetic storm is forecast to last through tomorrow, but will weaken through the day on Tuesday. So, I mean, we're going to have to deal with the possibility of the bad stuff, right? The interruption of satellite services, power grids, aircraft, space missions, all these things that we have to try to protect. But the one benefit is that our skies could really light up. So we'll see what happens. If anything, we'll get some great pictures from other parts of the country, which I love. The folks at Legoland have a brand new ride. It is a Galaxy roller coaster. And it's supposed to be pretty cool. Now, I tell you about this in case, you need to chit chat with the kids in your family. They are launching Lego Galaxy. It's a new space-themed land anchored by their first ever indoor roller coaster at Legoland in Southern California. It's called the Galactic Coaster, and it opens in March. It's their first new roller coaster in 20 years at Legoland. The Galaxyland, or Lego Galaxy, will include rides and play areas and a Lego building zone, and of course, retail and dining options because, cha-ching. It's where the former driving school rides used to be, which is a bummer because that was fun. The rides have been moved across the way, so they still have them. And the Funtown Police and Fire Academy attractions were replaced to make way for Lego Galaxy. One of the things I really enjoyed about Legoland was that in the lines, there's like the parents kind of stand in the line, and in the middle of the line, there's a circular play area with giant pits of Legos. And kids can build and make Legos instead of standing in line. So they get to interact with each other and build and have fun. And then when it's time to get back in line, you call your kid over and they have had fun and gotten to play instead of having to wait in the line. I love that. So that was really fun. At Legoland in California, they have a really cool aquarium. They have an amazing water park. And then apparently now they have Lego Galaxy Land, which is going to be fun as well. The highlight of Legoland when we went was the hotel. And it is not a cheap hotel. Like rooms go for $400-$500 a night. But if you're going to Legoland, I think you have to do the whole experience. I think we only stayed for one night, but they have disco parties for kids. I mean, the disco balls and the fun music. They have movies by the pool. They have Legos in the lobby. They have little things first of all, they have a section of all the rooms that have bunk beds for kids in the rooms. And then they have this, um, I don't know what they want to call it, like a treasure hunt for little mini Legos that they leave in your room every day for kids. Super fun. The elevator, when you get in the elevator, the doors close, the disco lights come on, and it's like a dance party in the elevator. There are little things to jump on in the hallways that make fart noises. Like the whole place is just super kid centric. And I will tell you, the buffet at the Legoland Hotel is some of the best buffet food. Like you don't expect it to be anything good. It was really good. So yeah, I know it's super expensive. I probably won't be going back there for a while, but kind of exciting. The first new roller coaster at Legoland in more than 20 years. You know, it's funny because I wondered whether I should put this story in, and I'm convinced that it will come in handy for somebody. Somebody will in the chat will have heard this and the knowledge will come in handy in some conversation that you're having. That's why I put that in. All right. Let's move to Hide in Your Cave Monday. We're going to get in there. And thank you to Yvonne for this story about the California Cavern. So this is a pretty cool cave. Here's the email. She says, "Hi, Kim. I know you've done so many caves. I don't know if it's been done, but it looks interesting and it's local in California. Secret Los Angeles, California's longest cave system reopens this spring. It's a Sierra foothills gem once explored by Mark Twain." And she gives me a map of it as well to show you exactly where it is. Okay, so I have the map. It looks like it's somewhere in between Stockton, Angels Camp, and Coloma. So kind of right there in the foothills. You can see it. California Cavern State Historical Landmark. Thank you for the map, Yvonne. I appreciate it. Here's a picture of the inside of that cave. And it's cool. It's a cool looking cave. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. It is California's longest cave system. The historic Show Cave in Calaveras County is one of California's most underrated underground adventures, but it reopens this spring so you can check it out. It's a limestone cave network nestled in the Sierra Nevada foothills. So you can check out the Gold Rush history and then you can go into the cave. The chambers are interconnected. The corridors are winding. It's called, again, one of the most underrated hidden gems in California. And it's been closed lately, but is due to reopen this spring for tours. There's a promotion, a January promotion, making it a great time to book. It is near Angels Camp and San Andreas in Calaveras County on Highway 49. It was discovered during the Gold Rush between 1849 and 1850, and it originally opened to the public as Mammoth Cave. It was the officially first documented cave in the Mother Lode region. John Muir has checked it out. Mark Twain has checked it out. Writer Bret Harte has toured the cave. There are guided walking tours, and there are more adventurous spelunking experiences. No, thank you. I'll do the guided walking tour. But there is a January special where you can sign up for a tour and you can book a spelunking tour by January 31st. They've got a special promo code, Explore MC26. You get some special pricing on that. I'll put the link in the chat in case anybody is in that area and interested. I just kind of like looking at the pictures of it. But I have another photo. Here's another shot. Kind of cool. The walking tour looks cool. You can go through that path. Look at all the stalagmites and stalactites. coming down from the ceiling and coming up from the floor. Fascinating. So there it is. The reopening of this secret cave system. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And that is Hide in Your Cave Monday. Gotta love it. I do want to take a moment to thank everyone who has contributed to this show, and that includes Yvonne sending me the idea for the particular cave, and the listener who I shall name tomorrow who sent the lead story in. Huge thank you on that. And then everyone who contributes financially, because as we know, this is the way it happens. Wes threw in $10 today. Huge thank you to Wes. Thank you, and thank you again, Wes, for your kindness and your generosity. Meredith D, thank you so much. James S, Wes from last week, Vanessa P, those are the most recent contributors via PayPal here on the After Party Live. Honestly, can't do the show without you, so just really want to tell you how much I appreciate it. Of course, the super chats and super stickers are always open here as well. Please click like and subscribe if you can. It helps. Yeah, Eileen says, great cave story. I just hide in my bedroom, says Nullifidian. Nice. I step away from the computer for a few minutes and you guys are talking pancakes and waffles. Hey, it's always a good time to talk pancakes and waffles. Thank you for the reminder, Dan. Already hit the thumbs up. Please do here as well. Yes, pecan waffles are good. It hits lunchtime. It's time for it. Anyway, that's Hide in Your Cave Monday. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here for that. Tomorrow, it's going to be really exciting on the Mark Thompson Show because we have Brooke Jenkins, the District Attorney of San Francisco, who will come on, talk about what's going on in the city and crime and a lot of other things as well. David K. Johnston is coming by the show. So tomorrow's show is going to be really good. That is the Mark Thompson Show at 11 a.m. right here on YouTube. And then tomorrow, we're going to go do some traveling together. If you have any suggestions for where we should go, please email me, Kim@theafterparty.live. There it is right there, Kim@theafterparty.live. Thank you for sending ideas my way. Love to have it be a collaborative effort. So I'll watch for ideas and your messages. And again, oh, look, there's my little ticker. I know, I'm pretty proud of myself. It's in the show description, the PayPal link. You know where it is. You guys know the drill. All right. Thank you for being here. 07 says, love the After Party Live. Thank you. A lot of love to all, Tammy says. Love to Yvonne. Great show. Great chat. Love the laughs. Thank you, Liz. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your Monday. And I will see you right back here on YouTube tomorrow. But between now and then, make it the very best Monday. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Yay, get your little exercise in. Little or big, whatever it is. 5 minutes or more, right? Woohoo! Go see. Well, if you guys are all walking, I guess I should get walking. All right, everybody up. Let's go. Let's go.